But I think they sort of folded right after that, right?
Yes, they folded right after as my record was going up the charts.
Oh, okay.
They folded.
So then you just transferred directly.
Yeah, and I transferred back to A&M.
Yeah.
Fine.
Actually, I think my favorite song from the first album was Way Back When.
Oh, yeah, a lot of people like that one.
Yeah, and that was a single, actually, right? That was like the second single.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think America was quite ready.
Yeah, I know. It was sort of way back then, you know? It was sort of different.
It was very different.
Yeah, it was just a nice vibe to that one.
Thank you.
And so you did a second album for A&M, with kind of a different slant from the first, and then did you decide to leave the label, or they dropped you from the roster, or was
I think they might have dropped me from the roster, if I'm not mistaken, and I went to Warner Brothers.
Yeah, with Two Eyes.
Yeah.
And actually, well, one of the songs on there you did, I know, that Layla Hathaway later recorded.
Right, It's Something.
Yeah.
I wrote with David Foster.
Yeah. And so what happened exactly? Because you ended up switching back to A&M eventually. Was that just...
Yes. Yeah, well, in that Warner Brother period, I went to... I made the album for them. Then I went to Sweden.
Right.
And ended up recording an album in Sweden. Mm-hmm. That was the Get Here album.
Okay.
And I didn't have a deal at that time because the Warners had dropped me after the one record, which they did nothing with.
Yeah.
And then I went to Sweden and ended up staying there recording. That's why I wrote Get Here in Stockholm.
So it was the completely same album, or you had actually done some different stuff, and then when you came back, you ended up...
Yeah, I just finished up stuff here.
Yeah.
Like Piano in the Dark I did here, but a lot of that stuff I did over there.
Okay. Yeah, it's funny, because actually you probably know a lot of those... Well, the CD editions of those albums, Two Eyes and Love Life, they go really high on eBay and all of that.
I can't believe that.
So, were you doing a lot of writing at that time for artists overseas, or what kind of experiences did you have in Sweden besides recording your album? I'm sure it was a period of a lot of growth, musically.
Yeah, well, people started recording my songs. That was very cool. Luther was one of the ones that did If Only for One Night, and around that time that was very good for me. And a bunch of folks were starting to record my stuff back then. Roberta Flack, and just very interesting artists, a lot of them. And over the years, people like Al Jarreau and People Bryson and Donna Summer, Patti LaBelle, Dinah Ross, Tina Turner, Ray Charles, Shaka Khan, and Rufus.
Yeah.
When she was with them and after she left.
What's that?
When she was with them, and then after she left them, she recorded a couple of songs.
Yeah, like Soul Talkin', I know she did.
And got Joe Cocker on here. Sting, I had a great record with him this year.
She Walks the Sword.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah. There was one more obscure recording, I guess, that I really enjoyed, though, was one you'd written, that you recorded eventually, was Got to Love, recorded by the artist Leah.
Leah. Yeah, Leah.
Yeah, I don't know her last name.
You know that song? How do you know that song?
I have her CD.
Oh my God.
CD. Yeah. I originally was familiar with it when you did it from the Soul Talkin' album.
Right.
But then I had gotten her album. And I was like, oh wow, so unexpected. So,
wow.
Yeah. I thought that was a neat, and I know you co-produced that recording too.
Right. Yeah.
She did. Yeah. Do you know anything about her? Like what her deal
I haven't
was?
talked to Leah in a couple of years. She was working with Prince last time I checked it.
I mean, I thought that was interesting too, the collaboration, because I think, wasn't it you produced that with Denzel Foster and Thomas McElroy?
Yes.
Yeah. So, and I guess that time period of the late 80s, was some different sounds you were experimenting to, like you would also co-produce Dinner with Gershwin for Donna Summer.
Right, with Richard Perry. Yeah.
Right. So it was outside of, I guess, maybe a lot of what at least you're known for today or were known for then was some of the ballads. I mean,
right.
Was that something you enjoyed, you know, at that time, experimenting with those different sounds, or is not something you even think about, like what kind of sound it is?
Well, I'm usually going on emotion, and so if I feel like writing a moody, love, romantic song, I'll do that, or, you know, if I feel like rocking out or something, or Got to Love, or Rusty, you know, I like it all. People tend to see me more as a balladeer, because that's what the songs they know by me the most, but I do all kinds of styles. I love Brazilian, reggae, and Latin, and, you know, I just love it all.
And, well, speaking of Brazilian, you have landed one of your songs on Dionne Warwick's Brazil album.
Yeah.
10,000 Words.
Wasn't that fun?
Yeah.
Wasn't that a good album?
I really loved that album.
Me too.
It's a shame that it was hardly promoted, it seems.
I agree, because I think she did an amazing job.
Yeah, the Joe B medley and the remake of Caravan, I thought was really cool. A very different twist on that.
Yeah. Awesome stuff.
And, well, when you're speaking of emotions and just whatever style comes out of it, I think of the Kiss Me With the Wind album, because I found that to be a very eclectic set, you know, ranging from the Night Train to Leningrad.
Wasn't that fun?
Yeah, I really liked that. And then to the title cut, which was sort of, you know, the pop dance thing, which I really enjoyed too.
So I always got encouraged to do the pop dance thing with the pop producers of the day to get you in the sound of the day, but it really never made a difference to whether it was a success or not. So, and you're paying, you know, a ton of money. You're working with great people, but it's still a lot of money, and you don't get any guarantee.
I know. There's no formula, no matter how hard you try sometimes.
Exactly. But you know a lot of my music. I'm very impressed.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, well, I've enjoyed it a lot, you know. And I think you said on there, actually, you spent some time living in Russia?
I wasn't living there, but I visited there twice.
Okay.
Which inspired me to write that song, Last Night Train to Leningrad. There's a group called Music Bridges, and they travel we travel all over the world.
Yeah.
Songwriters, I don't know if you've heard of us.
Yeah, I read that you were there just again recently, right?
Yeah, we went to Cuba not long ago.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And so we go to all these trouble spots like Russia and Indonesia and, you know, where did we go? Ireland. To collaborate with writers from that nation. And we just get thrown in, if we need language translators, sometimes we need that.
Yeah.
And we pull names out of a hat, who writes with who, from what side of the border, so to speak. And we get together, and it's like every day you write a new song with 2, 3 different people.
Wow.
So it's like a song camp, and it's a riot, because, you know, like in Cuba and Russia, you know, no English, so just amazing how you can communicate through music without speaking the same language.
So when you go with this group, how long do you typically stay in one place?
Usually about a week or so.
So do you get, do you get to get much idea of what it's like living there at all, or the culture, or are you like holed up just writing, or how does that work? Well,
we're pretty much holed up writing, but we do get out for 1 or 2 days and take us in day trips and see these sites of wherever we are.
Yeah.
So, you know, sometimes a few times, like in Bali, there was a lot to do. It was very
yeah.
And in Dublin, Ireland, we were in a castle in the middle of nowhere, so it wasn't too much, but it was great. Wow. And Cuba, we saw a lot of sights and sounds, and we actually, my writing partner was Andy Summer from the Police. And so we ended up writing with a Cuban guy who was like this big honcho star in Cuba. We went to his little studio. He was like the big rich guy, but compared to our standards, so different.
Yeah.
You know, it's a little beat up room. We're like, okay. And but we went in there and we had a great time. You know, the music is such a healer.